All right, Brennan Taylor here, True School Sports. I'm with the one and only, Rick Glaser. Rick, good to have you back on the show again. It's been a while.
It's too long, Brendan. Too long in between times. I've got to see you in the corner with Angelo Leo and all these world champions, but you're forgetting about the little guy here.
No, no, never that, Rick. Good to have you back on. How you feeling? How's your health? How is everything?
Everything is good. Everything's good. I'm as good looking as ever at 66. Health is good. I'm going to a wedding tomorrow. I'm just moving along nicely. No question about that. Doing a lot of business, and I got two new accounts in the last week, and one from Canada, one from France, and moving along well. I got a new advertising campaign up on social media, and 500 texts a week to once a week to 500 different people that run TV networks, boxing promotional companies, all that kind of stuff, attorneys, just people I do business with, and just let them know I'm still there batting, and if they need me, I'm right there.
Yeah, just normal standard boxing lifer stuff. I saw your tweet where you said, a real boxing guy has his phone with him at all times. When he's in the bathroom, when he's at dinner, when he's having sex. Boxing lifers always have their phone near them.
It's with an arm's length of my. Believe me, if I can just roll out my arm, and that phone's got to be able to touch my palm of my hand. That's just the way it is. One time years ago, before I got married, before I met my wife, I was having sex with this lovely young lady, and she wasn't that much younger than me. She was like 10, 12 years younger than me, but we were having sex, and she says, "Why is your phone on the bed?" I said, "Well, if you're worried about taking pictures, I'm not taking pictures. I don't have the camera on, but just in case anybody calls." She says, "Well, who's going to call you?" She says, "Anybody can call me." As soon as we finish sex, who calls me? Don King. He wants me to fly. He wants me to fly to Florida, and I mean New York City at 5:50 in the morning on JetBlue to meet him. He was already in New York, and she said. So what I saw was Don. I hit the speakerphone, and she says, "Who's that?" I said, "That's Don King." "You mean Don King with the hair?" I go, "Yeah, Don King. You know Don King." I said, "He just fly. You heard him. He's flying me to New York in the morning." She
That's
couldn't even believe it. So, anyways, in the meantime, is you got to be ready for you got to be ready for the action of boxing. It comes at all different times, hours. It
right,
doesn't matter.
right.
Boxing doesn't have a clock except when the fight starts.
That's why you can't really make plans too far in advance because things can
No,
always change.
no, no. Believe me, when I'm telling you, I was kidding a girl one night, and she says to me, she says, this was years ago. I mean, I'm talking about years ago, like mid-90s. And I said about a girl, she says, "Do you want to have sex before or after dinner?" I says, "Before." She says, "How come?" I says, "There might not be an after dinner. I might have to go somewhere. This is boxing, And she didn't know what I meant by it at the time. So she learned.
She figured it
But
out. She eventually.
yep,
But
yep.
Rick, we have a lot to get into, man. So I wanted to just get right into it, fire away. We had that Canelo Berlanga fight this past weekend. What was your take
Well,
on it?
going in, I had put a tweet up on Twitter that now called X by some, and including Elon Musk. But I had said the fight has so low expectations people have of Belanga. He's going to do a lot better than everybody thinks. I said he's going to put up a fight, and he did. Not that Canelo was ever in any trouble or not. Don't get me wrong, but that was the guy legitimately won 3 rounds. Two of the judges had him winning 3 rounds. I had him winning 3 rounds, and it was a solid fight, no joke. And especially the kid realized he could go the limit. After a while, he started laying it out in the 10th, 11th, and 12th rounds pretty good, knowing that he had the steam to go the distance. I think he was a little worried, because of Canelo's body punches and all that. But he weathered the storm, and he went for it, and he put up a spirited fight.
So he
So I thought he raised his stock tremendously in the fight. In a loss, he raised his stock tremendously.
Yeah, I knew the expectations for him are very low going in, but like it really hit me at the post fight press conference because I was there, and Keith Conley, one of the lines he had, he said he shocked the world tonight, and I'm like, he lost the fight, but he said they used the term shock the world.
Well, he did shock everybody because, and I said it too. He did shock. I told Keith himself that he shocked. I didn't say shocked the world. I says he shocked everybody because most people had such low expectations of him. I said it on, like I said, I said it on Twitter, and I was actually proud of the kid because he handled himself very well after the fight in the ring. He was very humble, and he went over and told Canelo he was a legend and all that. And then after the post-fight press conference, he was professional. And you know what? He came out as as a guy who came up short, but extinguished himself as legitimate. That's really what happened. That's the best way to put it.
I hear you. I know for me, I was one of the few in the media that picked him to go the full distance because I didn't think Canelo was gonna put him away, and I knew like Mark Ferrer and them would come with a good of enough game plan to go the 12 rounds.
Well, you were braver than me. I thought it would go 10 or 11. I mean, nine or 10. I'm sorry. And I didn't think he would go the distance. I thought, that the body shots would catch up with him like they did Plant. And when you think about it, he did better than Plant.
Well, did he really though? Because I feel like Caleb won more rounds than Edgar.
Nah, he didn't do shit. He didn't do shit.
Neither one of them. I thought Caleb did a little more than Edgar.
Well, he may have done a little more, but he got gassed out and got put to sleep.
I got you. Hold on, we got a couple super chats I want to get. Hiram wants to know from you, Rick. He says, "Who is the Diddy of boxing?" That's kind of a weird question, but who is the Diddy of boxing? I guess.
I don't know. I listen. The guy was just jailed the other day, and who knows if he was innocent or guilty. But I want to know what he was doing. 800 and some dildos and 1,000 things of lubricant. That's what I want to know. I think he was trying to suck and save money and buy it in bulk and say in volume and save money.
Yeah,
That's what I think he was doing.
He's definitely a weirdo. But we got Hollow Ninja. He says, "God bless you, True School and Rick. What do you guys both think about the Terrence Crawford hate in boxing? Do you guys think it's envy or something else? Keep up the good work."
It's definitely envy. He beat their hero, Earl Spence. That was everybody's hero, and he jacked them up, and he jacked the fans off at the same time because they all thought that Earl Spence was this unbelievable, unbeatable monster. And remember going to that fight? Earl's too strong. Earl's too big. Earl's too powerful. Earl's too accurate. Earl boxes too well, and Earl looked like 10 pounds of shit in a 2-pound bag.
Yeah. And I know you love Terrence Crawford like more than most because I've seen you say things like Jaron Ennis has a better chance, or you have a better chance of being 6'4" than Jaron Ennis does of beating Terrence Crawford. I know you love your Terrence Crawford.
No, I don't love Terrence Crawford. I've only met him one time actually. I've actually talked to him on the phone twice. People put me on the phone with him because his lawyer is my dear friend. His attorney and his advisor is my friend. And his trainer Bomac is a friend of mine. In truth, I just think that he's a fighter that could have competed with Roberto Duran at 147, with Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns, Wilfred Benitez, Donald Curry, that whole crew. I just think he could have, hung right in there. I think he would have beaten Benitez. I think he would have beaten Donald Curry. I think that he would have beaten Duran, except for the time that Duran beat Leonard. Nobody was beating Duran that day, ever. You know what I mean? Just wasn't to be. He just looked like the greatest thing ever. That in the time he beat Ray Leonard in June of 1980. He would have given Thomas Hearns all he could handle. He would have given Ray Leonard all he could handle. He's an all-time great fighter. People got to stop downplaying this guy. This guy's got killer instinct, power in both hands, switch hitter. He has tremendous boxing ability. He's got radar for eyes. And he just has got his shit together. What more can you say? He's a real pro. He comes in 1,000% shape. He's just one of those kind of guys. He's a very rare guy. He's the first to the gym and the last to leave. And just the way it is. I mean, he's great. People got to stop downplaying this guy. Every time he downplays him, he makes everybody look stupid.
I know his last fight against Madrimov, he won, but it wasn't the dominant Terence Crawford.
No, but you got to remember something. Madrimov was a great amateur, had an amateur style. He's jumping up and down and all around, and that's a very, very hard type of guy to beat and look good against at the same time. So it's hard. It's hard. Don't forget, Canelo's not that style. Canelo's very simple style, right in front of you, shows you a few angles, but mostly comes for you. Madrimov doesn't fight that. He jumps all around, and and it's like it's just the way it is, and it's a different style altogether. It's a style that you can't get sparring partners for. How do you get sparring partners for to fight a guy like that? So he's a difficult guy to fight. He won. He moves on. There's no doubt about it who won the fight after the fight was over. As soon as the bell rang, he won the fight. It wasn't like it was that close.
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought the scorecards were actually pretty accurate. I don't
Right.
know what or anything like that. Do you think the Canelo Crawford fight actually happens in 2025? Because that's the thing. People are giving their predictions and stuff, but do the Saudis and
The money's there to make the fight if Canelo wants to participate in it. That I'll tell you. I know that Crawford is on board 1,000%. He's been chasing the guy down for a while now. So I just think that he can do it. Remember, you're not talking about a Jermell Charlo who's going to go through the motions and Jermell Charlo and fake it like he did and move up from 54 to 68. This guy's coming to win. This guy's got balls down to his ankles. He's a killer. He's got that mentality, and he wants it. And that's all there is to it. It's a different kind of animal than Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo is there to pick up a fucking paycheck.
I 1,000%. Do you think are you picking Bud if the Canelo fight does?
I think if despite the fact the fight will be fought at 68, I think he's capable of winning the fight, and he can win the fight. Not saying he's definitely going to win the fight. Don't get me wrong, but he's capable of winning the fight. It's a good possibility that he wins. It's not no long shot like people think it is.
Okay. Another question for you, Rick. Hyro says, is Turkey really buying Ring Magazine? And if so,
yes. I don't know. You'd have to ask him. Probably the ring belts. Probably make his own organization with the ring belts. I would say.
Okay. Do you think that could become a problem in boxing if Turkey has too much power?
No, not really. As long as he spread money around.
Yeah.
As long as he's being fair and spreads money around, there won't be a problem.
Okay. Fair enough. The following son wants to know if you what are your feelings about Dana White entering the boxing business?
You mean the fact that I reported that today?
Yeah.
I put that out there today. Yeah. I think it's he's another player in the business with Turkey, and let's see what he does. Maybe he just does this young contender series, and for a 5-round fight, something like that. Maybe he goes on to it further. I don't know what he's going to do. You don't know because they're a multi. They're into wrestling, that company. They're into the UFC. They got Slapbox. He's also good friends with Tom Loeffler, who's got the promotional company 360, who's got that Callum Welsh. So I could see a guy like Tom Loeffler running the boxing division for him.
Yeah, and they already have the working relationship because Tom's been doing the 360 cards on UFC fight.
Right. I can see that happening.
Okay. Marcin Brown wants to know from you, Rick, as well. Is the rumors about PBC in talks with Warner Brothers Discovery and Al Heyman? Is it back with the rollout? Could we see the return of HBO since there's a new owner?
I don't think they're going to see HBO back in boxing. And what was the other question?
Could we see the return of HBO boxing since there's a new owner? I guess.
That one I answered. I said no. But what was the other question? Something to do with PBC.
Are the rumors true about PBC in talks with Warner Brother and Discovery?
They've been talking to everybody under the sun, and they ain't got no deal. Ever since last last year when in October when what do you call it, announced they were going down. I announced Showtime was going down and nobody believed me. Then they put out the thing like it was big news. I said, "Wait, hold it, guys! I put this out fucking months ago. What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
They were going out. Then you guys act like I was crazy. Now you act like it's big news. Which one is it? Um, I think they've been looking for a deal since then. They came up with a Amazon with no money, just give them a platform and a revenue sharing, and they got to pay for their own production. So they're looking to better that deal. They're so desperate. They made such a bad deal. They're not able to get another deal on TV that will pay because they were so desperate, and they took that deal. So that bad deal. So they backed themselves up into a corner, and now they're fighting to get out of that corner, and it doesn't look good.
Yeah, and I mean, I know like they've been outsourcing a lot of their fighters that they don't really care about to like pro box. Like they've been footing the bill, sending these guys to pro box because they don't have the dates right now.
I know they should just cut the fucking fighters loose, cut their business down to 24 fighters. They don't need all these fighters. They're fucking stupid. It's too costly. It's too stupid. But they're not that smart.
Yeah.
That's why they're in trouble.
Shout out to Pops. He says blessings to his to Rick Glaser and his lovely wife.
Thanks, Pops.
Yeah,
That's your father, Pops, right?
yeah, my dad.
Oh yeah, okay, good. I just write Pops. A lot of people are Pops.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? A lot of people are Poppies too.
A lot of people are poppies. Gotta be careful with
That's
that.
right. That's right.
Punch Drunk Boxing in the building. He says hello to you, Rick. Shout out to Punch Drunk Boxing.
Oh, it's a punch truck. One of my favorites. Tell him I said hello.
Oh, hello, Punch. What's up, some Punch Drunk? Good to see you, champ. Rick, sticking with the whole that card. I know me and you had a conversation the other day about Caleb Plant. You were saying that he shot the pieces and whatnot. What do you make about him? Maybe Berlanga and him mixing it up next.
Who's going to pay for that?
I don't know, PBC.
Nah, for him to make big money, he'd have to fight Belanga or who else? I try to think, but Belanga would be the guy that he would make probably the most amount of money with. Belanga versus Munguia.
Okay.
So there's not enough money to fight Plant. Plant doesn't, where's the fan base? A bunch of hillbillies.
Well, I don't know about that one, Rick, because I'm a lot of Mexicans are starting to they've been getting behind Caleb Plant since this Canelo fight. Like I was there, he was getting a pretty big reception from the Mexican fans. He had the whole arena on fire during the McCumbee fight.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's popular all of a sudden.
Yeah.
He got popular age 32. That's interesting with no legs. That's pretty interesting.
Well, he fought Canelo, and he made Canelo look really good when they fought, and they want to see him do because it makes Canelo look good. It's one of those things.
That's true. Anything to make Canelo look good. You're right. You're right.
One of the things you mentioned when we started the live, and I wanted to get your take on it, was the Angelo Leo fight happened last month. A big knockout of Ronaldo Lopez.
That was a sensational knockout that might qualify for knockout of the year, along with Lucas's body knockout of that other kid, whatever his name is, Slavin or Slave or Sleeve or Slime or whatever his name is. Both those qualify for are in the battle for knockout of the year. There's no question. I think I would give it to Angelo Leo because it was a world title fight and he was the challenger.
Yeah.
So I would give it to Leo, and he laid that motherfucker right out. It was beautiful.
It was crazy.
Really was. It really was a beautiful thing. It was. I'm friends with the manager of the other guy, whatever his name is.
Otto.
And I was just, you can't help but love a knockout like that and the enthusiasm and all. It was just exciting. It just was, in his hometown, and just there was no negativity.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it's what dreams are made of. So
That's right, 100%. And for ESPN and for Top Rank and for Pro Box and everybody involved, it was great.
Yeah, no, it was, and definitely for me on True School Sports, I was part of camp, so it was like
I know you were. I know you were. I was going to add that in there, but I knew you were ready to toot your own horn as soon as I didn't toot it for you. I knew that.
But yeah, he's champion again. Featherweight's a really interesting weight class right now. You got like a lot of Espinosa, Oh,
Well, they're all with Top Rank, basically. So that's a beautiful thing too. And he's with Top Rank now, and he's got probably what 3, 4 fights with Top Rank, and everybody's happy. You know.
what do you think about? I mean, those fights like Angelo versus Espinoza or Ball or those guys, the shoes, those guys.
Well, they're all good fights. They're all fights I can't wait to see. To be honest with you,
Yeah, and
they're exciting fights. At any given night, any of those guys can beat each other. On
right.
any given night.
I think so. And then like I know Bob. When I talked to Bob a couple months ago, Bob Arum said that he's not really trying to get these guys to unify because he wants each guy to get their shot at Inoue.
Right.
Think about Inoue as a featherweight against these guys that currently have titles.
Right. 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 I completely get why he doesn't want to do that. I completely understand. Because for him to have all those featherweight champs and Nui moves up, he's going to be able to control Nui through the opponents again, to continue to do that. So that makes sense. That's where the money is in the division of Nui. The money's not fighting each other.
Okay, that makes sense. Is it also possible too that maybe like in the event that there is an upset, like wouldn't Top Rank have more of a piece of the pie with one of the guys from America than Inoue? Because doesn't Ohashi and those guys have more?
But they won't make as much money. And Nui brings in like $40 million of fighting income. What are these guys going to bring in? 3, 4 million, 5 million? Come on.
Yeah. Okay. I just had to ask because I wasn't, I'm not sure. I know Inoue brings a lot of money.
Inui's so popular that the motherfucker's got 3 promoters: Aram, Mr. Honda, and the other guy, Oshashi.
Ohashi,
So
yeah.
he's got 3 promoters. So I mean, that's how popular the guy is, and they're all turning a buck.
That's how big the piece of the pie is.
Yeah, that's right. And then what's Aram going to do? What we do with 3, 4 million, maybe 5 million income for one of his fighters? I mean, what's he going to make? Fucking dog food.
Makes sense. Okay, all right. Who do you think? If he's coming to the States apparently in April, according to Bob. If when he does come here, who do you think his opponent will be? In a way,
I have no idea. I don't have a clue.
Yeah, because I've been trying to figure that one out. Because he's still got to fight Sam Goodman. I know you reported about that. He's fighting Sam Goodman in December. So
yes.
That.
Yep. Yeah. So definitely fighting Sam Goodman in December.
Okay.
I come with more scoops. I'm not even a reporter. It's fucking scary shit.
Well, you know a lot of sources. You know a lot of people in the business and TV.
I know.
I
know. Yes, I do.
Yes. You got decades in the game. I saw that recently you completed your 34th year in boxing.
No. January 1st, I'll be 34 years in boxing. I started January 1st of 1991. So this coming January will be 34 years. Next year, 35 years. I'm putting out a hat like HBO when they were in boxing for 35 years ago. They put out a hat. Well, I'm putting out a hat, and it's gonna be a GlazerBoxing.com hat. 35 years.
Get one. I'll get a hat.
Yep, it's gonna be, I'm gonna have what's his name make them. New Era. New Era.
Of course. Yeah.
#1 hat company in the world. We're gonna commission them to make the hats.
Okay. I'll definitely get one. I just completed my 9th year in boxing on September 5th.
Well, that's good. Well, you started younger than me. I didn't start till I was 30, like 32, 33 years old. So I started 91. So I guess I was 33. Yeah, almost 32, turning 33.
Okay.
But you started out when you were a kid on the knee of Stacy McKinley.
Right. Damn right. How have you survived so many eras of boxing? Because I know, I saw another tweet you had where you were saying you survived when USA left boxing, the USA Network left boxing, the recession, COVID. How have you been able to have longevity in the sport?
Now you keep evolving. You just got to stay ahead of the curve at all times. I mean, you just got to do that. You got to be resilient, and you got to keep reinventing yourself.
Right.
Okay. And I keep reinventing myself. I used to earlier on I was a matchmaker and promoted my own fighters, and then after 2008 I started supplying. When we had the recession, I started supplying services to promoters, and now my my business is supplying TV networks, promoters, managers, TV, streaming companies, casinos, online casinos, attorneys, services. Like attorneys, I'm an expert witness in lawsuits. Right now, I'm an expert witness in 2 lawsuits, boxing related, of course, obviously. And it's just I supply different services to different people, but that's just what I do every day. So go glazerboxing.com. It's a 24/7, 365 worldwide provider of quality supplemental services since 1991. And I got a list of I got right now I got 52 clients, and every client would highly recommend me. Trust me.
Yeah, I hear you.
Listen, even people you get around in boxing, you're around the events. Even people that don't like me they will tell you I'm a professional. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. I know my business. They might say they don't like me, that I'm a fucking asshole. They don't like me, but they didn't never say they can't say I don't know my business.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're a polarizing figure. Like, most people either love you or they hate you. There's no in between.
That's right. My wife has a great line about me. She says, Rick, either people want to kiss you on both cheeks or put 2 behind your ear.
Yeah, I can't even go to certain events here in Vegas without hearing your name. It's ridiculous.
Like what? Like, how do you hear my name? Like, what do they say?
Like, well, I don't like when I went to an event recently. I don't want to talk too long about this, but like Rachel Donaire, she every time I see Rachel Donaire, she's always giving me an earful about you. Every time.
Yeah. Listen,
Rick on your platform, give him a platform. This, that, and the third.
Yeah. Well, why don't you give her a platform? What do you get from her?
No, well,
Nothing.
I told her, I'm like, you can come on the channel if you want. I mean, I want to interview you, but then one time I asked her for an interview, and she was like, "I'm not gonna go on your channel." It's okay.
Yeah, she's a real fucking. Oy. I'm just so glad he's married to her and I'm not.
I hear you. Hyro asked Rick, he wants to know from you, why did Jaime Munguia leave Oscar? Has he left Oscar?
That's up in dispute right now. Suppose he's with Golden Boy, but Fernando Beltran says telling Oscar he's with them. So he's with Golden Boy. So I don't know. It's a one-off deal. I don't know. It sounds a little weird to me, but we'll see.
Yeah, the whole thing looks and feels weird because
Yes, it does.
Clarity from any side.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
How it goes. Staying on Munguia, I know he's got the Eric Bazinian fight, which is a good fight. Bazinian can punch, but if he comes through that, I know you were really high on a Munguia versus Billy fight. You even went ahead as far as calling it a Gotti Ward type of fight. I guess break it down.
Well, Gotti Ward, these guys have a higher skill level than Gotti Ward. Don't get me wrong; these guys are A fighters, and Gotti Ward were B minus. So, yeah, it's at the time they fought. They were B minus. Truthfully, it would be a great fight. Both guys come forward. Both guys can punch, and it's really really a good fight. I mean, it's a great fight. It's not a good fight. It's a great fight. It's a fight that I wouldn't want to miss.
Yeah, I think it'd be really exciting because you got Billy, who's he's a wrecking ball, real short, stocky, and compact. Munguia probably has a little more dimension to his game, but they both have no problems left.
Put it this way, they're both disappointed if you don't hit them.
Yeah, it's right. They stay right there on the center line. They're not going nowhere.
That's right.
Canelo is running out of opponents at 168. If he stays there, is there a scenario where Billy could get a Canelo?
Well, that's the reason I asked you the other day if you gained any weight. Maybe he put you in there.
Who?
Canelo.
He don't want them problems.
He don't want the heat.
He don't want that smoke, Rick.
The boy and just the boy from Dana Beach.
He never fought no one from South Florida, so
that's right.
Never fought no one from South Florida. Nah, but I'm looking forward to seeing what Canelo does at 68. Like, they got Pacheco there. I mean, what do you think? Like, if he is he going to continue fighting these kind of guys like Pacheco and Billy?
I think if he doesn't fight Crawford, If he doesn't, he's going to be on the retirement program. He'll be fighting 2 guys a year, until like for the next 3 years, get in 6 more fights, make millions more, bank that, and call it a day. You know what I mean? End up with 70 wins or something like that, and call it a day.
Yeah, that sounds about the right. That sounds like the perfect way to go out. Honestly, like if you're not going to be fighting Crawford,
Yeah, well, he ain't fighting Benavides, and
yeah,
if he doesn't fight Crawford, he's going to be on the retirement program. 2 fights a year for the next 4 to 6 or 3 to 4 years. I mean, 2 to 3 years. 4 to 6 fights.
yeah. Okay. JD Spades is lurking. Wants to know from you, Rick. Is there any info on Teofimo Lopez and Top Rank going into litigation?
I haven't heard anything, but listen. This guy's so crazy. This Teofimo, he doesn't listen to anybody that anybody tells him. He listens to the last person he talked to, and it's just terrible. And he's torpedoing his own career. He just sits out fights that are just dates because he can't fight a particular guy, or they want him to fight a particular guy and he won't fight him, or he wants too much money. He just doesn't. He just loses time. He's gonna be one of those fighters that end up broke after a few years after they retire.
Why? Because he's just so mentally unstable. You think, or
Yeah, it's part of it.
yeah,
It's part of it. And he turns down fight dates. You can't replace that money.
yeah. Like I know you reported that he turned down a Top Rank had a main event slot for him for a Friday, and he turned it down because it wasn't on a Saturday.
Yeah, then he denied it. But believe me, I checked with multiple people that were involved, and they all told me he didn't want to fight on a Friday because he says it's not big enough fight date. They say it looks like a club show. He wants to fight on a Saturday night
Well, I don't mean his last fight against Steve Claggett was basically a club show, so I don't see why he would turn it down.
because he's wacky.
Yeah,
One day's this, one day's that. He's all over the board. He's a fucking screw. He's half a screwball. Fuck
yeah.
it, he is a screwball. When we talk about half a screwball, he's a screwball.
I don't know if you're allowed to, but who is Top Rank trying to get him to fight for that date? I'm sure you know. Can
I don't remember. I don't remember, to be honest with you. I wasn't really that concerned. All I know is he turned the fight down, said it was a Friday night, and come up with it probably wasn't the right amount of money. He probably wanted more. He's just nuts. He comes up with excuses not to fight.
yeah, it's unfortunate because he really like beginning of his career. He shot out the cannon. He was ahead of all these guys when he beat Lomachenko and Comey and all these guys, and
Yeah,
not really
yeah.
getting. What
He put himself exactly where he is. He's a world champion, but he's in the shed house.
I know he was with the Canelo during the all fight week, and he's been training with him. If he is going to be with Reynoso and Canelo, how do you think that'll go?
Not too good because his father will be fucking involved, and anything to do with that father is what he's completely wacky.
Yeah, I mean, I still got love for Teofimo Senior, but like every time I see him, last 4 times I've seen him, 2 times he wanna argue with me and try to insult me. Cool, so like he's all over the place as well. You don't know on any given day.
Well, they keep saying they're from Brooklyn. Or the Teofimo is not from Brooklyn. He was born in fucking. Raised in South Florida.
South Florida, and for some reason he has this thing where he don't want to be from South Florida. But why wouldn't you want to be from South Florida? Great place.
That's right, tax-free state, and the government's fucking Republican. You can't beat that.
Yeah, and beautiful women and great weather and
Yeah, no earthquakes. It's beautiful.
The best hockey team in the world. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
Yep, that's true. It's true. And a football team that keeps getting beat by the Buffalo Bills gets their ass spanked every time they play the Buffalo Bills.
That too.
Get them spanked
Every time. Too.
How about what is it with that? Buffalo, every time they play Miami, they spank them. What's going on with that?
I just think the Dolphins are pretenders. I'm not really a big football guy, but the Dolphins are the biggest pretenders in South Florida, and they always have been, and they always will be. So
yeah, The Sabres, I mean, the Buffalo Bills, they won 12 out of the last 14 games against those bums.
That's why that one last year when the Dolphins actually wound up winning a game against them, it was like they won the Super Bowl. I remember everybody was celebrating around town like the Dolphins won the damn Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
that was because of the heat.
Yeah.
Remember how early it was in the season? The heat.
Yep.
Yep. Yep. And they know it. They
Yeah.
know it.
But Rick, yeah, you reported also that Tank's going to be fighting Lamont Roach next.
That's what multiple people have told me.
Yeah, people close to PBC and Tank or
Yeah, all over the place. Yeah. The Lamont Roach side, the fucking PBC, all these fucking things. We'll see. Probably, PBC is the kind of guys they'll pull the fight just now because out of spite, because I said I had announced it was going to happen because they're trying to make me look bad. That's what they're capable of doing, but it's all right. I can handle it.
it's ironic that if that fight does happen, it's ironic that they're gonna fight because I remember vividly interviewing Lamont Roach last year, and I actually asked him if he'd ever go up to fight Gervonta Davis, and he said yes, but he was kind of like, oh yeah, well it's like I guess he didn't think that the fight would be offered to him, so he just said yeah. I guess it got offered to him, according to you.
Yeah, well, see what happens, but it's looking like it's going to be a fight.
Yeah, what do you think about that fight?
I think Tank is too strong for him. That's why they're taking the guy.
It's like an upgrade of what they used to do with like Hugo Ruiz and Cuellar. Because this guy was this guy's champion. He's a good fighter, but yeah, not.
Yeah, and this guy can still go back down and defend his 130-pound title when he gets beat. You know what I mean? So yeah, it makes sense for everybody.
Yeah,
It definitely fits the PBC modus of operandi. So what the hell, right?
I'm sure the fight will do great business in the DMV area.
I'm sure it will.
Yeah. Okay. You mentioned also too, like Shakur Stevenson and Eddie Hearn. I know. He's not fighting now against Joe Cordina because the side's gonna pay him all that money, but he got an injury. But how do you think that whole relationship will play out? Because you said it was like them finding true love.
It's just, it's one guy that wants to pay too much to a guy that can't sell tickets. I mean, it's a perfect relationship. Eddie's willing to overpay a guy who can't sell a ticket unless he's fighting in Newark and he draws 10,000 people, but no big deal because you got to rent the arena and you got to do advertising and all that kind of shit. So it doesn't do when you do 10,000 people, you need to do 20,000 people to make it worthwhile.
Well, truth be told, he don't gotta really sell any tickets if he's fighting in Saudi because
no, that's true, but it still would be on pay-per-view. Who's gonna watch that shit?
Not many people.
Nobody wanted to watch him on ESPN for free until the last fight. A lot of people watched. He's just not an exciting fighter. He's a great fighter. Don't get me wrong, but he's not exciting. Listen, Willie Pepper was great, but wasn't exciting. We know Pernell Whitaker was great, but wasn't exciting. There are a lot of fighters that are great, but aren't exciting.
Yeah, I think a lot of times people get like being a great fighter and exciting misconstrued because there's entertaining fighters that are C-class fighters.
Well, look at Gaddy and I just said Gaddy and Ward minus B minus, but every time they fought, you wanted to watch them whether they were fighting each other or not.
Yeah. I mean, like for example, like a guy at cruiserweight, Ryan Ruzicki. He's not an A-level fighter, but I love watching him fight.
You're right. He's exciting.
Very exciting. So, yeah. What else did I have to ask you? Oh yeah, I know what Williams Pereira's fighting Tevin Farmer too. He'll beat him. But do you think if after that fight, you think him and Shakur why not fighting next in 2025?
I don't know. I could see that guy out pointing fucking Shakur. That guy throws a ton of punches, and Shakur throws one punch at a time. So I could see as a pay to winning that fight.
Yeah. Shakur has never had anybody in there with his kind of work rate.
Yeah, especially the guy's left-handed and can punch.
Yeah. I mean, those if they go as 12 like Jojo Diaz, he's gonna touch 1,000 plus easy.
Yep.
Yeah. We got one guy, Rick, who's in the chat. He's going off. He's been going off on you. He said, "No one cares about Rick. Name Rick's job description."
I just said it earlier. GlazerBoxing.com is the world 24/7, 365 worldwide provider of quality supplemental service to the professional boxing business worldwide since 1991.
And
You
the box.
know, and all I do is boxing, and my wife and I live the life of luxury. We live a
Right.
very comfortable lifestyle. My wife's driving a brand new S500, and she shops on Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills and all that kind of stuff. And in the meantime, is they know her on a first name basis when on Rodeo Drive. So there's your answer.
So, yeah, he said, "I love BT, but I don't like Rick.
Is that what that guy said?
I love BT, but I don't like Rick."
That's good. That's all right. I'm not running a popularity contest.
True. Hira wants to know from you, Rick. Do you supply services to PBC fighters?
No.
Didn't you have a tweet one time? I saw a tweet one time where you were like, you'll consult PBC fighters or something like that. I forgot what you
For
said.
free. No, if they call me, I'll do it for free. Tell them to get the fuck out of there.
So you'd help Stephen Fulton out?
I would if he called me. He's too stupid to call me. He don't know any better. See, that's the difference. I like Stefan. He's good, but a good fighter, nice kid. But he's just they're not smart.
Yeah. Okay. So no PBC fighter has ever called you.
Yeah, a whole bunch have called me. Whole
Yeah.
bunch. Matter of fact, one of them ended up a Golden Boy recently because of me. He didn't call me. An attorney did. Called me and turned me on to the kid, and I brought him the Golden Boy, and he's fighting on the show in Saudi Arabia.
Who?
His name is Kenneth Sims, WBA #1 junior welterweight.
I just seen him yesterday. Yeah, I just seen Canelo Sims yesterday at the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He doesn't even know I had anything to do with it. He told somebody I didn't have anything to do with it. I don't know. He didn't have anything to do with it. Of course I did.
Well, good, because Canelo Sims deserves opportunities.
Yeah. He just fought for gold. Look how often he's fighting now. He just fought August 10th. Now he's fighting November 16th. At PBC, he had one fight a year. He would have fought once this year and once next year.
Yes.
Maybe.
Because they ain't got no dates. And he might have been on Pro Box, but PBC.
Nah, they're not able to pay that kind of money on Pro Box. They wouldn't have, Well, yeah, maybe because PB supplementing supplementing the part, but it could be. But the point is, he's not. He's with good people in Golden Boy, and I helped facilitate that deal.
Okay, good. The boxing scholar says, "Why doesn't Rick call Al for a job? He's always talking about him."
Why would I need a job from Al Heyman? I don't need a job from anybody.
Yeah.
GlazerBoxing.com makes more money than PBC. Think about it. They're losing money. I'm not.
You're saying you're turning over a profit, and they're not.
Yeah, well, I turned a profit for fucking 33 straight years, and how are they doing? They're down. They're down $900 million.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. It's
Yeah.
a bold statement to make, but if you use math, I'm right. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I don't have access to their financials, but we
Well,
hear.
they're on the federal filings, on the SEC federal filings. They're in debt $900 million.
Yeah. A lot of people aren't going to believe that though, because they're on Amazon Prime, and
they're not paying any money. So what?
Yeah.
Just a platform. They're not guaranteeing any funds. Not like ESPN with Top Rank.
Yeah.
Or Eddie Hearn with Golden Boy and the Golden Boy with the Zone. It's not like that. It's just strictly a fucking platform.
Well, how is it for people that don't understand? How is it not like that? How is it not like those deals?
Because those deals, they pay them a rights fee and they pay for the production. And this fucking deal here, they're paying for their own production. They get no rights fee. They get nothing. They just get on a platform to share in pay-per-view revenue.
Okay.
There's no guarantees. They're not putting up any money. Amazon Prime. It's all hocus pocus malocus.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think? I wanted to ask you too, but what do you think? What did you make of the whole Jaron Ennis Brian Norman situation? Because that caused a big stir in boxing recently.
What situation?
Jaron Ennis and Brian Norman. They offered.
Well, it's simple. This is the best explanation if I was managing Brian Norman, I would have said, listen, Brian Norman's decided that he wants to play the long game, okay, and not the short game. Okay, the long game and not the short game, and that's all there was to it. But they didn't handle it that way.
So when you say
They kept talking about money and not money and money and stuff. It's a stupid argument. The argument was it's not how we want to operate. We want to play the long game.
so when you say
Okay,
long game, you're saying win more fights to continue to build his business and build his brand and build his name in boxing.
correct.
So that okay, so that when he gets a Jaron Ennis fight, instead of it being 1.7, he can command 2.5 or 3.
Yeah, and he's capable of winning the fight. Because he'll be more seasoned. But Boots is more seasoned than he is right now.
Correct.
But if he fights 3-4 more times, he'll be catching up with Boots if he's got any brains at all.
Okay. Well, I know Norman's fighting Derek Cuevas. I don't know if you know anything about Derek Cuevas, but if you do, like, what do you make of that match?
He can punch. He's from South Florida, Puerto Rico. He can punch. Good fight.
I watched
Fun fight. Looking forward to watching it. It'd be a fun fight.
Yeah, for sure. I know since the last time I spoke to you, Usyk became undisputed at heavyweight, and now they're going to do the rematch in December. What did you make of Usyk, like the way he beat Fury, and how, do you think Fury can make the adjustments to beat Usyk in the rematch?
Yeah, he's got the ring IQ to do it, and he knows the mistakes he made in the first fight, including the knockdown. He knows what he's got to do in the rematch. So I would say he knows that Usyk's stronger than he thought, and he's got to make some adjustments. And I think he's capable of making those adjustments and going on to a victory.
Okay. I know, like, Anthony Joshua's fighting Dubois this weekend. A lot of people believe that, Anthony Joshua at 34, he's more mature now, and I've even heard people say he's in his prime now. Do you think Anthony Joshua's in his prime now, Rick? Because I know you've said before, like in boxing, there's physically shot and there's mentally shot, and some fighters mature mentally later on. But do you think Anthony Joshua's in his prime now?
I can't say that for sure, but I do think he's better now than he was 3 years ago. That I will say.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, it's tough to say he's in his prime now because he could be in his prime in 3 more fights from now. We don't know that.
Yeah.
So right now he looks very good.
Okay, but you think mentally he's matured more, right? Is that why he's better now?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of everything. I think he's with a trainer that he's connecting with, and what's it, Ben Davidson, and I think that's part of it. I think he's more relaxed in there than he was. He was more hyper, and he was a lot of hypertension and losing stamina because he was so nervous energy. So I think that a little bit of everything has come together for the guy, and he's looking as good as he's looked since prior to getting knocked out by Andy Ruiz.
Yeah, and I think maybe too, like there's no pressure on, like there's not as much pressure on him now because he's not
Right.
Right. Okay.
Right. And it helps to have hundreds of millions in the bank too. It takes the pressure off.
If he ever gets tired of boxing, he can just walk away with all his hundreds of millions and be cool, be good.
That's right.
Yeah. You mentioned too, like going back to that tweet. You had a tweet where you talked about Brandon Lee. You said that Brandon Lee, he's mentally shot, and you said there's shot and there's physically shot. Could you expand upon that? Like give examples of who's a guy in boxing that's physically shot right now? And apart from Brandon Lee, who's another fighter that's mentally shot? Hello? Rick, you there? Oh, let me see. Hold on. Rick, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, my bad. I don't know what happened, but
Yeah, I don't know either.
yeah.
Brandon Lee is mentally shot. Yes, he's got to get his shit together. I don't know. He looks complacent in there. Looks a little slower than he used to. Maybe he's physically shot too. I don't know, but he doesn't look too good.
Yeah. Are there any like historical examples of like a fighter being young and mentally shot that you could give?
Wilfred Benitez was physically and mentally shot at age 24. Um, there's been quite a few actually. I'm just trying to think of them all, but there's been quite a few that they've just been real good early, and they fizzle out quick mentally and physically both.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yes, it's tough to maintain physical and mental condition for long periods of time in boxing. It's
Correct.
real tough.
Correct.
I know you mentioned too. You have a I guess a bad guy list and a good guy list in boxing, and I wanted to ask you, man, like when you put that list out, is there any chance I'm gonna get on the good guy list?
No, you're in the media. You're not in boxing. You're in the media.
So you're talking about the business.
Right. The fighters are not on the list. They're in the sport. This is in the people in the business.
Okay, so you're talking about the matchmakers and promoters and things of that nature.
Promoters, matchmakers, yeah, all that. Yeah. Managers. Yep. Uh-huh.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. But trainers are not in the business. They're in the sport. Fighters are in the sport. You're in the media,
Yeah,
you know. So, I mean, there's some can't misses on that list, Art Palulo, Lou DiBella, there's some can't misses on that list.
yeah. I'm not really a big fan of Ludabella either because he got all sensitive with me on Twitter that one time.
He's a fucking jerk off. Please.
It is what it is.
Terrible. Terrible. His parents should be embarrassed.
But Ludabella?
Yeah, his parents. Yeah, they should be embarrassed.
Well, my man Shinobi, he says Bam and Boots is confronted on the zone web app. What is your thoughts? I guess yeah, Bam and
He's fighting. Bam's fighting Pedro Guevara. It's a good fight. That's a fun fight. He's pretty good. He beat one of the Maloney brothers recently. He beat Andrew Maloney.
Guevara's a good fighter. He's former champion at a lower weight class.
Yep.
Is Boots gonna be fighting Karen?
I don't know.
Okay.
No, nobody knows yet. They're trying to figure out what Boots is going to do.
Yeah. What do you think he should do?
I don't know. I just, he's, how does Eddie Hearn go and say, oh, he's going to be the next big star in boxing, then he's the low purse bidder, and the other promoters got a fighter nobody's ever heard of.
Yeah,
Come on.
That's very telling because like I always tell fighters like if you want to know what your promoter really thinks, you let one of your fights go to purse bid, and I feel like Eddie don't really, for whatever reason, he's not really 100% sold on Boots if he's losing purse bids because the bid wasn't even that high. The bid was like 250K, something like that.
No, 2 million and 2.5 million.
What it was? Okay,
Yeah.
5 million.
You got it confused with the
Johnny Beck?
Yeah, Janabek fight. That was like 350 or something like that. Yeah.
That's a crazy situation though. They got going there. Johnny Beck, I don't think he can make 160 more, and now he has to go to Australia. What do you make of that whole thing? Him?
No, we'll see what happens. I'm not close to General Beck, so I don't know. But let's see him make 160 pounds and be strong.
Yeah, be nice. Be nice because I don't know. Do you think he's big enough for 168? Because I think he's kind of a tweener. Like,
I think he is a tweener. I think you're right about that. It's well said.
Yeah. Okay.
Mark that down. I remember last time you said something. It was right. It's been a while, but I remember it.
I mean, I said something right last August. In August, when Angelo knocked out Ronaldo Lopez in 10 rounds.
That's right.
Right. Sometimes.
But I didn't say he wasn't.
No, you didn't say he wasn't, but a lot of people said he wasn't.
No, I didn't say he wasn't.
You. But Rick, I ran through everything I wanted to ask you. Well, no, I didn't ask you about like I asked you about Bam, but I didn't get a chance to ask you about like, Bam's not like he's fighting Guevara, but like when do you think he'll maybe start unifying some of these titles against like Puma Martinez or why hasn't Bam considered fighting maybe a Junta Nakatani at 118? Because I feel like that'd be a big fight for him if he could make it happen.
He just got to 115. He's got to grow into the weight. Remember, he was 112. It was 115, went down to 112. Now it's back at 15. He's got to grow into the weight.
Okay. Yeah, he's been doing the yo-yo in 112, 115, you know.
He's staying at 115 now for a little while, and he's got to grow into the weight to fight those guys.
I know you think highly of Ben because I know you wanted to buy a piece of him when he was like 8-0.
Yep. Yeah, when he was an 8-round fighter. Yeah, he was more than 8-0, but he was an 8-round fighter. But yeah, he's a good fighter. He's a great fighter. I'm very high on him. I love fighters with high ring IQs.
Yeah. Those are the best ones to watch.
Crawford's got a high ring IQ. Usyk, Fury, Shakur, Bam. Those are guys with high ring IQs.
Yeah. Okay. But Rick, I ran through pretty much everything I wanted to ask you. So before I wrap it up here, I want any final message to the boxing world about what you got going on?
No, not really. Just business as usual. The other guy says, "What's my job? What's my job title?" That rude guy asked what my job title was. Do I need a job title? I own a business. You know what I mean? I'm founder of a very successful company. It's been in business 33 years. How many people can say that but Bob Arum and Don King, right?
Yeah, especially in boxing. So many companies come and go. I mean, look at Richard Schaefer. He had Ringstar Sports. He had Probellum. Those didn't last too long.
Well, Probellum had its own issues, nothing to do with Richard, but
I know.
yeah,
He was the guy in the front man, so to speak.
No, he was the promoter, is what he was. The promoter of the company. Listen, people can talk all that shit they want about me. It's just like you said. Can you walk through a big time fight in this country? People aren't mentioning my name. People in the business, come on, you know it. What do you think? They're mentioning my name because I'm stupid or I'm some guy in the bottom of the totem pole? Do they mention people at the bottom of the totem pole?
No. They mention you to me though because they know I've been interviewing you for a lot of years. I think the first interview we did was like 2018, so it's been like 6 years.
Yep. I've been giving you some good answers over the years, and I'm bold and I tell it like it is. I'm afraid of no one. What the fuck,
Yeah.
So
most people, in my experience, most people that don't like you, they either they don't like a lot of them are really sensitive, or they just don't know boxing. So it's normally one of the two.
Yep.
Sometimes
Yeah. Hey, listen, I've never screwed anybody in boxing. I've screwed a lot of women, but nobody in boxing.
That's right. All right, Rick. Well, thank you, man. It was a pleasure having you.
It's a pleasure being on your show. Looking forward to the next time I'm on. And until then, those Buffalo Bills are going to keep winning, and every time, and you guys got to come to Buffalo one more time this year. Maybe it'll be even in the snow. You guys might get really lucky. It might be in the snow.
We might. But honestly, man, I'm not really a Dolphins fan. It's all about the Panthers with me. The Florida Panthers.
That's good. Well, they won the title last year, and they're a great hockey team. There's no question about that.
Probably gonna be one of it again.
Thanks for having me. And if anybody wants to follow me on Twitter, it's at Real Rick Glaser 1. I got like 13,000 some followers, and I answer all boxing questions just as truthfully on Twitter as I do here. For our dear friend Brendan Taylor, BT.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man.
Okay, good. Thanks for having me. Bye-bye now.